Good morning, and welcome to New Hanover County Schools, The Morning Show. I'm Jamie Stalhart.
And I'm Noah Suleiman. This is the week of September 30th through October 5th, and this is our special Apple Show.
That's right. It's a tradition here on The Morning Show that each year we dedicate one show to that flavorful fruit we all love, the apple.
We have a lot of exciting Apple information, facts, and even an Apple game.
That sounds like fun. We also have many other features on today's show, including food facts and Cook It, where we stick to our apple theme and learn how to make an apple wrap.
We also have our first ever special report from the Archaeology channel. It features a look at the abandoned island of Inishark off the coast of Ireland. It's a very interesting story.
I can't wait, but first, when is an apple a grouch?
When is an apple a grouch?
Yes, when is an apple a grouch?
I don't know.
When it's a crab apple. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. That's a good one. Can we get back to the show now?
Sure. We have another new segment on the show today on safety. This episode focuses on pedestrian safety and is packed with important information every kid should know.
It's going to be another excellent show. I do, however, have one question.
What is that?
What do you call an apple that plays the trumpet?
Oh, it's good to see you're getting in on the fun. I'm not sure. What?
A tutti frutti.
That was great. Now it's my turn to put us back on track. Let's swing over to our news anchor, July Alexander, who's standing by with our first look at your school news headlines. Good morning, July.
Good morning, Jamie and Noah, and welcome everyone to your school news here on The Morning Show. Topping the headlines this week, Noble holds social media awareness seminar, National Pawn donates instruments to DC Virgo, and we have the first series on the special reports on bullying. We'll have all those stories and more coming up later in the show.
Thanks, July. We get things going today with a segment we call This Week in History. Our Grand Master of Historical Knowledge has all the headlines from past times in This Week in History. Brought to you by Kidsville News.
Welcome to This Week in History. I'm your historical host, Hannah Bolick, covering all the colorful and amazing events that have left their mark on history's timeline. This is the week of September 30th through October 6th. On September 30th, 1938, just 2 weeks after the Munich Agreement, Hitler pushes the bounds of the agreement and Germany occupies Czechoslovakia. Tuesday, October 1st, 1987, an earthquake in Los Angeles, 11 miles southeast of Pasadena, killed 8 people and injured 200. The quake caused $358 million in property damage and measured 5.9 on the Richter scale. October 2nd, on this day in 1985, actor Rock Hudson, 59, becomes the first major U.S. celebrity to die of complications from AIDS. Hudson's death raised public awareness of this epidemic. And on October 3rd, 1995, at the end of a sensational trial, former football star O.J. Simpson is acquitted of the brutal 1994 double murder of his estranged wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman. October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union inaugurates the space age with its launch of Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite. This spacecraft was named Sputnik after the Russian word for satellite. Finally, your weekend history tidbits. October 5th, on this day in 1947, President Harry Truman, 1884 to 1972, makes the first ever televised presidential address from the White House, asking Americans to cut back on their use of grain in order to help starving Europeans. October 6, 1866, the the Reno gang carries out the first robbery of a moving train in the U.S., making off with over $10,000 from an Ohio and Mississippi train in Jackson, Indiana. That's This Week in History, your ultimate source for those key moments in time. I'm Hannah Bullock. Thanks for stopping by.
This Week in History is brought to you by Kidsville News, a fun and effective learning resource for children, teachers, and parents. It features school news, information, and local community events while promoting literacy and the development of good reading habits, character traits, and study skills in young children. And Kidsville News is always free. Copies are delivered every month to every elementary school and New Hanover County school system.
And join us again next time for another journey through time as we explore the fun, fascinating, entertaining, and educational facts that make up This Week in History.
Now don't go away, we'll be right back.
There are so many fun things we all can do to be healthier, no matter who you are or where you are. So let's move.
Well, here we go. We're getting set to get underway.
Let's stretch in the grass.
Great play.
Let's play tag.
What a play.
Let's jump up and down.
Oh, what a way to finish it.
And most of all, let's eat better so that we have the energy we need to play an hour a day, every day.
Everyone can play. Just go to letsmove.gov to learn more.
When I found out my jeans were made by children in sweatshops, I wrote to all the stores that carry the brand and it said stop supporting companies who use child labor in sweatshops. But I just got letters back with coupons for discounts on more jeans. So I'm telling my friend, and she flips out because between all the letters and coupons, some paper company cut down a small forest, killing thousands of plant species which may have contained vaccines for AIDS. Meanwhile, the guys cutting down the trees are 13-year-old kids who will work night and day to buy a pair of jeans made in sweatshops.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Jamie Stalford. It's now time for our tasty segment, Food Facts. In this feature, specialist from the New Hanover County Child Nutrition Office joins us with important information for living healthy and happy lives. This week, Melissa Davis talks to us about fruit juice and sugar. Water. It's nature's thirst quencher. Not to mention, we literally cannot survive without it. We all know we need to drink our 8 glasses a day, but do most of us drink enough? No, we most definitely do not. An estimated 2/3 of Americans do not drink enough water. It seems most of us are too busy drinking a wide variety of the sugary beverages that line our grocery store aisles and vending machines. Whether it be soda, coffee, tea, or juice, the fact remains that we are drinking too much of these beverages and not enough water. For those of you who opt for a more nutritious option in fruit juice, 100% fruit juice is healthier than most soft drinks or sweet tea, but juice does have a dark side. As you can see here, 100% fruit juice is full of essential vitamins and minerals that our bodies need, including vitamin C, calcium, iron, and B vitamins. Some juices have more than your body requires in a whole day in just 1 glass. However, not all fruit juice is 100% juice, as you can see on this food label. This particular juice is only 10% juice and lacks the vitamins and minerals in the 100% juice. There is something that does remain in both of these types of juices, the sugar. Even though they contain natural sugars from the fruits themselves, some fruit juices actually have just as much, if not more sugar than your average soft drink. This example here has 28 grams of sugar. This may not seem like much to you, but that equals out to 7 teaspoons in 1 glass. This is 7 teaspoons of sugar. This is how much sugar you are consuming when you drink juice like this glass here. Drinking water instead of juice and eating whole fruit can help you lower your total sugar intake and total calorie intake each day, which may help you lose weight and reap numerous health benefits. Or if you crave that glass of OJ in the morning, dilute it with some water. Water can help to make you alert, energize your muscles, keep your skin looking healthy, and of course, keep your digestive system in order. Remember, when we eat grains, they should be whole grains. So when we eat fruit, they should be whole fruits as well. Whole fruit provides the same essential nutrients as fruit juice, but with less sugar and more fiber. Remember fiber? You need that too. These are just a few examples of whole fruits you can easily incorporate into your diet every day. Try to mix your colors, make your plate colorful and fun. Remember to drink more water and eat your fruit. If that gets boring, put fruit in your water. Or try sparkling water with a cucumber or fresh mint leaves perhaps. Do it for you. Do it for your children. Just do it. I'm Melissa Davis, and this message has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools Child Nutrition. Here's to your health.
Thank you, Melissa. And that was a lot of great information. I did not know about fruit juice.
Yes, it was. Speaking of fruit juice, why did the apple stop running?
Because he ran out of juice?
That's right. You're getting good at this.
The apple jokes are fun. Why did the apple go to the doctor?
I'm not sure why.
Because he felt rotten to the core.
That was great.
Thank you. Let's save some of these jokes later in the show and swing over to July at the news desk for our first look at your school news. Good morning, July.
Welcome. Good morning and welcome to your school news on the morning show. I'm Jill Alexander. Noble Middle School has held a social media awareness seminar for parents where they discussed social media dangers and how to best protect their students. YSN reporter E.J. McGoggle covered the story and filled the report.
The message was clear from the opening remarks by Assistant Principal David Bastian. Students are vulnerable through social media. Statistics show that 25% of teens admit to posting sexually explicit words or images online, making them prey for predators, while 43% of teens have been victims of cyberbullying in the last year. Panelists told parents that the facelessness of the computer encourages students to say things online that they would never say face-to-face. Principal Wade Smith told the parents in attendance that Noble Middle School wanted to raise their awareness of the various social media being used by students and showcase the latest trends. Cyberbullying took the main stage. Noble's student support team talked about how cyberbullies victimize other students, what the school does to help teach students the dangers of their actions, and finally, how parents can help in this growing world of technology-based behaviors. Parents got a real eye-opener as they were introduced to a host of sites that today's teens are using. These include Vine, Instagram, Ask.fm, social media sites where participation starts innocently enough but develops quickly into worst-case scenarios.
Some of the developers of these apps are developing apps specifically for 13 to 23-year-olds, very young age groups, knowing that they're highly socializing and communicating in ways that they want to get around their parents and leave no trace.
Deputy C.L. Smith gave parents a lot to think about as he pointed out that in the eyes of the law, malicious material on the web has a far greater reach than whispered nicknames, bathroom graffiti, and caricatures scrawled on notepaper. He reviewed several cases, some right here in New Hanover County, of students using the internet to spread false information about teachers as well as students threatening other students with physical harm on Facebook. District Attorney Ben David, the keynote speaker for the evening, told parents that he had been talking to local school students about the dangers of the internet for over a decade. He shared stories about the rapidly changing landscape of technology and the steps the law is having to take to keep students safe from not only themselves, but from those who would prey upon them.
That their children know more about social media than they do, but they know less about life, and they have to remain in charge in their own home. Parents make the best police.
The social media awareness seminar was a huge first step in introducing to parents a new dangerous form of communication that their children are now involved in. It is hoped that they walked away from the event with a better understanding of the dangers today's social media can pose and will take the time to learn about the sites their children are visiting and communicate with them about good and bad internet decisions. Reporting for your school news is E.J. McGonigal.
As part of his ongoing charitable cause, Bob Moulton, the president of National Pawn, presented close to 100 instruments to the music program at DC Virgo Preparatory Academy. In addition, National Pawn donated $2,000 for repairs and maintenance of the instruments. This is the second year National Pawn has contributed to Virgo. On hand, the occasion was Brandon Hickman, a former New Hanover Wildcat, the now station manager of Coast 97.3. He told the students at Virgo that his path to success started in the band room. Hickman was one of the first black drum majors for New Hanover County Schools marching band that was able to attend college at Norfolk State University on a band scholarship. Virgo band director, enrichment coordinator Cameron Ballish called Mountain an angel in disguise. When NHCS Virgo Middle School reopened its doors to a 6th grade class last year at the Preparatory Academy, it was Bollish's job to create a visual performing arts curriculum. The donation of the instruments made it possible for 78 of the 100 total students of the school to be a part of the bands or orchestra. This school, Virgo's attendance has doubled with the start of 7th grade classes, and the music program has grown nearly to 200. Finally, October is National Bully Awareness Month. In honor of this month, your school team has put together a 4-part series and special reports on bullying. This first report, we get an overview from bullying from Abby Bowman.
Bullying is a serious problem in homes, schools, and communities. Often dismissed as an adolescent rite of passage, research clearly indicates bullying is learned behavior and damaging to the academic, physical, social, and emotional development of all involved. Bullying is not only a problem of youth, but is one that spans all ages.
Bullying is a conscious, willful, deliberate act of harm and terror. Students who bully typically have been thinking about it, and their intent is to harm and to create fear in the victims.
In order to be considered bullying, the behavior must be aggressive and include an imbalance of power. Kids who bully use their power, such as physical strength, access to embarrassing information, or popularity, to control or harm others. Power imbalances can change over time and in different situations, even if they involve the same people.
But these days, bullying can be physical, the verbal aggression, the social aggression. We see that a lot with our girls, the social isolation, trying to pull other students away from them. Oh, don't be that person's friend, spreading rumor, gossip. Sexual harassment is a form of bullying. And now in the age of social media, there's cyberbullying.
Bullying can affect everyone. Those who are bullied, those who bully, and those who witness bullying. Bullying is linked to many negative outcomes, including impacts on mental health, substance use, and suicide.
Unfortunately, bullying is very permanent for some students, for some children. It can carry on into their whole life. They unfortunately believe what they hear and what they see, and it can affect their self-esteem. Their goals, their dreams are tainted, unfortunately.
Bullying is a pervasive problem in schools, affecting almost a third of students in grades 6 through 10. Because of the significant negative consequences of this behavior for all involved, it should not be viewed as just a normal part of growing up. To be addressed effectively, both individual and system-level interventions are required. If we do not intervene with bullies, we not only place targets at risk for physical injury, depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem, but also significantly increase the likelihood that bullies will develop into antisocial adults. Reporting for Your School News, this is Abby Bowman.
For all the latest on New Hanover County Schools, join us weekdays at 5:30 p.m. here on Time Warner Cable Channel 5 and Charter Cable Channel 12. For Your School News, a complete half hour of the latest news and information from New Hanover County Schools. Now back to our hosts.
Thanks, July. In addition to watching Your School News and the morning show, you can see many of NHCS's TV's programming online.
Just go to the school system's website at www.nhcs.net and click on the NHCS-TV video library link under Items of Interest right there on the front page.
You can watch great programs there, like past editions of Book Look, Diversity Matters, and Up Front with the Superintendent.
It's an excellent way to watch our programming whenever you want.
We now have an important feature for younger students and their parents as well as anyone who could use a refresher on pedestrian safety. Crossing guard Mrs. Smith, her students, and Willie Whistle all work together to bring you these important tips.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Smith, and I'm a crossing guard. One of my jobs is to make sure young people cross the street safely. It's easy to be safe as long as you follow a few basic rules. I'm going out to meet some of my young friends now. Why don't you come along? I think you learned some great new things and have fun while you do. Here are my friends now. Hi, kids.
Hi, Mrs. Smith.
Now, before we get started, I'd like for you to meet the real teacher, Willie Whistle.
Hi, I'm Willie Whistle. with an important message about crossing streets. Until you get older, about 11 or 12 years old, it's always best to cross the street at the corner with an adult you trust. But crossing guards, law enforcement officers, our parents and grandparents, along with crosswalks and traffic signals, aren't always there when we need them. So, Mrs. Smith and I are going to show you how to cross the street even when there is no help around. I want you to meet some friends of mine. Meet Lara, Sam, and Christina.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Lara, Sam, and Christina are friends of mine because they know the right way to cross streets.
Would you like to learn the safe way?
The way we do it, it isn't hard.
Actually, it's kind of easy.
Cool. Now, the first thing we're going to learn about is curbs. Lara, if you want to be a safe street crosser, what do you do whenever you come to a curb? Or the edge of the road if there isn't a curb?
You stop.
Sam, what do you do when you come to a curb?
You stop.
Christina, what do you do when you come to a curb?
Woo! You stop.
When you come to the curb or the edge of the road if there isn't a curb, you stop?
Always.
Every time, you always stop.
Stopping at the curb or the edge of the road when there is no curb is the first important thing to remember.
You're absolutely correct. You stop every time. There may be cars coming and you don't want them to hit you. There may be a car coming from the left, or there may be a car coming from the right. So you look to the left and you look to the right and then you look to the left again, just to make sure.
Thanks, Willie. Does everybody understand?
Yes!
Before going into the street for any reason, when you come to the curb or the edge of the road, if there is no curb, you stop. Then you look to your left, then you look to your right, and you look to your left again. Do not go into the street until you're sure no cars are coming. Just to be sure that you know your left from your right, let's have everyone make an L with their left hand. See, L is for left hand. Now everybody wave your left hand. That's great. Now your right hand. Let's wave the right hand real hard. Keep waving it. Really hard. That's good. Now let's wave again. Left hand. Right hand. Left hand.
Lara, would you like to show us how to cross safely?
Sure, come on, guys. Okay, don't forget to stop at the curb or at the edge of the road if there isn't a curb. Then we look to the left, to the right, and to the left again. If a car is passing, we wait till it's gone, look to the left, the right, and the left again. Okay, we're clear. Let's go.
Great job. Thanks, Lara. Christina, now it's your turn. Will you show us how to do it?
Sure.
First, stop at the curb. Then, look to the left and to the right. But there is a car coming. So, you wait until it passes and start again. Look to the left, look to the right, look to the left again. The street is clear, and it's okay to cross.
That was excellent, Christina. Just remember to always stop and look left, right, left every time you cross the street.
I will.
Thanks, Christina. Everybody with us so far?
Yes!
I thought you would be. Now, what do you think you do if there are cars parked on the street? You stop at the curb, but you can't really see if a car is coming or not. It's kind of different, isn't it? Sam, would you show us what to do in this case?
Well, I step to the curb and stop and check to make sure that the parked cars are not running and are empty. Then I step to the outside edge of the parked cars and stop. If there's a car coming, I step back and wait until it passes. Then I walk out to the edge again and look left and right and left until I don't see any more cars coming.
Good. Thanks, Sam.
Willie, please go over the 3 basic things to remember.
First, always stop at the curb or the edge of the road if there isn't a curb before you step off the sidewalk. Second, after you stop at the curb, always look to the left and to the right and to the left again until there are no cars coming. Third, if cars are parked on the street, always go to the edge of the parked cars where you can see and stop before looking left, right, and left. If you see a car coming from any direction, wait until it passes and then look left, right, and left again until there are no cars coming each time you look. And that's it.
Thanks, Willie!
Thanks, Willie Whistle and Mrs. Smith. Those were excellent tips.
Yes, they were. And the good news is each month we will feature a new safety video for students, parents, and community members here on the Morning Show.
That's wonderful.
It is.
Now don't go away. This rip-roaring edition of the Morning Show will continue right after this break. But before we go, we have our trivia question of the day. Since this is the Apple Show, our question revolves around Johnny Appleseed. It is said that Johnny Appleseed's dream was for a land where blossoming apple trees were everywhere and no one was hungry. A gentle and kind man, he slept outdoors and walked barefoot around the country planting apple seeds wherever he went. It is even told that he made his drinking water from snow by melting it with his feet. Johnny was a great friend to everyone he met, Indians and settlers, even the animals like Johnny Appleseed. His clothes were made from sacks and his hat was a tin pot he also used for cooking. So our trivia question of the day is, was Johnny Appleseed a real person or one of America's first legends? We'll have the answer when we return.
This is Lands and People, your passport to the world.
The Kingdom of Cambodia is part of the historic Rice Bowl of mainland Southeast Asia. About 90% of Cambodia's population of Khmer, which is what ethnic Cambodians have historically called themselves. Its chief agricultural products are rice, rubber, and corn. Industries include rice milling, fishing, and wood products. Cambodia's capital is Phnom Penh.
This has been Lands and People, your passport to the world.
Hi, we're the Commodores, and we believe in music. We're here to keep music education in our schools.
Music is one of those things that we've all grown up with, and no one would ever want to grow up without having music.
Don't take it away. No kid left behind, no music left behind.
Remember, kids who study music do better in school and in life.
To support music education in your local community, go to www.supportmusic.com.
Welcome back to the Morning Show. This week, the apple takes center stage.
There are many tales about Johnny Appleseed. It is said once Johnny fell asleep and a rattlesnake tried to bite him, but the fangs would not go into his foot because the skin was as tough as an elephant's hide. Another tale describes him playing with a bear family.
Are these stories true? Today's trivia question asked, was Johnny Appleseed a real person or one of America's first legends? Take a moment and think about it. As many of you probably know, and some of you may be surprised to hear, Johnny Appleseed was a real person.
He truly did exist. His real name was John Chapman, born in Massachusetts in 1774. He did indeed love apples, learned about their cultivation, and started many apple nurseries that stretched from the Allegheny River in the east and as far west as Ohio.
In fact, he spent 49 years of his life in the American wilderness planting apple seeds. After 200 years, some of those trees still bear apples. His dedication to apple cultivation earned him his legendary nickname, Johnny Appleseed.
As to what he wore and whether he played with bears, well, we'll leave that up to you to decide.
Archaeologists study past human life and culture through the recovery of examination of remaining material evidence. Using artifacts, inscriptions, monuments, and other remains, they paint a picture of the past. In many cases, that picture tells a story. We have one of those amazing stories from our friends at the Archaeology Channel. This week, they take us to the island of Inishark, Ireland.
Off the west coast of Ireland are some rocky islands that have been inhabited for thousands of years. The island of Inishark is one of those, but the last people actually abandoned it back in 1960. Today, it's a lonely place with the empty remains of old houses and other structures. Archaeologists study that sort of thing, of course, but in this case, they can actually talk to some of the people who once used them.
Watching the stormy seas pound the shores of Inishark, it seems impossible that people once eked out a living on this tiny, battered island. And yet they did, and not so long ago. Stone houses stand vigil for the vibrant community of fishermen and farmers who once lived here, enduring weeks at a time of storm-bound isolation at the hands of the mighty Atlantic. The decay of the ruins mimics the community's collapse during the 20th century, when young people from Inishark, like their counterparts all over Ireland, left their homes behind, seeking opportunities abroad. The island community needed young people to man the wooden boats used for fishing and travel to the mainland. As the population dwindled, the hardships and isolation of island life eventually overwhelmed those remaining. In 1960, the last 24 islanders evacuated the centuries-old village on Inishark and moved to government-sponsored holdings on the mainland. Our team of archaeologists arrived on Inishark just shy of 50 years after the abandonment. As part of the ongoing Cultural Landscapes of the Irish Coast project, we came prepared to investigate and conserve the heritage of the Western Irish coast. With the help of modern technology, we could learn a lot from the material remains still evident on the landscape. By exploring historical documents, we could discover still more about life on the island. Because the abandonment of Inishark was so recent, we had an opportunity rarely available to archaeologists. In June 2009, we brought 3 surviving islanders, Teresa Lacey, Martin Murray, and Peter Corrigan, back to Inishark to lend a voice to the past.
This was the house I was born in and grew up in. So the potatoes there, you can see the tracks of the ridges in the field, all the ways down, hay down at the bottom of it.
The islanders' testimony complemented other lines of evidence in our interdisciplinary approach.
This house here was built for the school teacher. And the house far over than in the far was where the king used to live. And the house over beyond that again, a family by the name of Kings lived in it. They were uncles of Sonny Lacey's. You know, that's the one near to the pier, you know. And then you go further up, you have the church and my grandmother's house. But this is where all the decisions are made now. Well, you see, it was a quiet house. There was no kids in it, so there was nothing to interfere their conversation, you know. So they were let at it, and they played cards. And if they weren't, you know, but it was a winter house, you know. Maybe sometimes on a Sunday, if it was too bad to go to Nishbuffin to Mass, they would sit outside at the gable of the house there and discuss things as well.
The islanders' memories demonstrated the immediate connection between the physical landscape and traditional life.
Right out of the door here and right up to the ceiling, that was packed with potatoes, because it had to be, you know, to feed the family. I mean, the potatoes would have to do from October right till May or June, you know. So you had to sow a lot of potatoes. And that was a haggard there where they kept their vegetables. Right here, they put the turnips, carrots, parsnips, everything was put in here.
The islanders could explain, identify, and interpret the landscape, sometimes revealing layers of meaning in unexpected places.
When you try
Being able to include living witnesses alongside traditional archaeological data was an exceedingly rare and valuable opportunity. Their memories replaced guesswork and inference in our understanding of daily life and features on the landscape. But Teresa, Peter, and Martin ultimately gave us more than just information. Their testimony revealed some of the hopes, joys, and fears that characterized life on the island. As traditions fade out of practice and buildings crumble, their memories lend a voice to the silent stones of Inishark.
That was an interesting story. I never would have thought an island would be abandoned just by people deciding to leave.
Me either, and so recent as far as history goes.
Thankfully, we'll be airing more reports from the Archaeology channel throughout the year.
All right, now it's time for this week's lunch menu.
Wait, before we start, I have another apple joke.
Okay, go ahead.
What did the apple say to the apple skin?
You're skinny.
Okay, that's good, but no, it's quick, cover me.
I like it, though I think my answer may be a little bit better.
I guess it's up to debate.
Here's the lunch menu. This is the menu for Monday, September 30th through Monday, October 7th.
On Monday, September 30th, stuff yourself with tasty tangerine chicken with brown rice or a seafood combo. Complete your awesome meal with a side of items of corn and chilled pineapple.
Then on Tuesday, October 1st, choose between two fantastic entrees, either a beef taco with Spanish rice or a flavorful grilled chicken sandwich. While you're in the lunch line, be sure to add the classic side items of sweet potato casserole, garden salad, and fresh fruit.
On Wednesday, October 2nd, energize yourself with a quesadilla or wonderful cheesy breadsticks. Complete your meal with pasta salad, tomato and cucumber salad, garden salad, chilled pears, and delicious fruit jello with topping.
On Thursday, October 3rd, how will you ever decide between mini ravioli with breadstick or a marvelous chicken filet sandwich? As you contemplate your decision, go ahead and pile on sweet potato salad, broccoli with cheese, a garden salad, and fresh fruit.
Then, on Friday, October 4th, race to the nearest lunch line and grab a slice of pizza or a turkey, ham, and cheese hoagie. Round the meal out with macaroni salad, chickpea salad, mixed vegetables, garden salad, and mixed fruit.
Finally, on Monday, October 7th, you won't want to miss out on lunch, as your cafeteria will be serving scrumptious corn puppies or grilled chicken with noodles. While you're in the lunch line, don't forget the side items of sweet potato waffle fries, a fresh garden salad, and mixed fruit. Top it all off by enjoying jello with topping for dessert.
And there you have it for the lunch menu of the week.
Don't forget, you can also start your day off with a healthy and hearty breakfast at school.
A segment added to the morning show last year that quickly became popular was Cook It. Culinary students from New Hanover High and Holly Shelter Middle School join us with great and easy ways to make recipes. Sticking with our apple theme, today the students teach us how to make apple wraps.
Hi, my name is Kiana McMillan and welcome to Cook It. Today we will be making a delicious, nutritious turkey and apple wrap. But don't worry, vegetarians, we will also make a substitute wrap for you as well. The wrap was originally a generalization on the Tex-Mex burrito, but was named and invented by a Southern California chain as early as the 1980s. First, we are going to start with the turkey and apple wrap. You will need a 6-inch tortilla. You will need 1/4 cup of baby spinach leaves. You will also need 2 teaspoons of mustard, 1 teaspoon of mayo, 5 slices of turkey, and you will need some red apples, about 1/4 cup. Or if you don't want to use red apples, you can use Granny Smith apples. All right, so first we're going to start with our 6-inch tortilla. Add your 2 teaspoons of mustard and spread on. And you can be generous with it if you want to. I am not a very fan of mustard. All right. And then you're going to add your 1 teaspoon of mayo. Spread that on. All right, and you can put this in any order you want to. I'm going to add the 5 slices of turkey first, and then my 1/4 cup of baby spinach leaves. Okay, now, as far as the apples go, this can be refrigerated for up to 24 hours. So if you want to refrigerate this, be sure to marinate the apples and lemon juice beforehand. Then we're going to wrap this up. All right, and there we have our turkey and apple wrap. Now for our vegetarians. We will be using, again, a 6-inch tortilla. And for those of you who don't like mayo and you are vegetarian and you just cannot eat it, we will use Greek yogurt as a substitute for that mayo. And you need 1 teaspoon of that. Spread it on. And as far as the meat goes, I will be using today 1 crumbled up bean patty. But if you don't want to, you can also use soy protein slices instead. So we are going to add some of that. And last but not least, our 1/4 cup of baby spinach leaves. And our 1/4 cup of apples. Also, if you do not like apples, you can always substitute this with pears. Then we're going to wrap and enjoy. All right. This should be the outcome of your turkey and apple wrap and your vegetarian wrap. My name is Kiana McMillan, and I hope you enjoy this as much as I do.
That recipe sounded delicious. I'll have to try that at home. I love learning new recipes.
Me too.
If you'd like a copy of this recipe, then drop us a note at nhcstv@gmail.com.
Now don't go away. The best morning show in New Hanover County continues right after this break.
Who was president? The years 1909 to 1913. He was the only man to be both president and a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He kept cows on the White House lawn. His conservative nature antagonized the progressive elements of his party. If you guessed William H. Taft, you're right. He was the 27th President of the United States. This presidential pop quiz has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network, Time Warner Cable Channel 5.
Mom and Dad, we need you to be involved in our school, because when you are, we get Dad a raise. And have a of graduation. It could be as simple as stopping in to read haiku. Hey, we're not denying you like boss, but we need you to be involved in our school, and maybe even get us a pony.
Hear what your kids are saying. Get more involved. Join your local PTA.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Jamie Stalford.
And I'm Noah Suleiman, and this is our special apple show.
Now, fall wouldn't be fall without apples. Apple trees were grown and prized for their fruit by the people of ancient Rome. It is believed that the Romans took cultivated apples with them into England when they conquered the country. Apple growing became common in England and many other parts of Europe.
Both the seeds of apples and the trees themselves were brought to America from England, probably in 1629. John Endicott, one of the governors of Massachusetts Bay Colony, is said to have brought the first trees to America.
Native Americans took seeds of these apples into the wilderness and planted them in their villages. As time passed, American apple growers developed many new and improved varieties of apples. Today, the U.S. is the principal apple-producing country in the world.
There are over 7,500 varieties of apples, but apple trees are valued not only for their delicious fruits, but also for their wood, which is used to making mallet heads and golf clubs. Pieces of apple wood add excellent flavor for smoking foods, and the split wood can make ideal fire logs.
What makes a truly tasty apple? The flavor of an apple is a magical blend of tartness, sweetness, bitterness, and aroma that awakens the senses. The sweetness, 9% to 12% of the fruit, comes from sucrose and fructose, two forms of natural sugar. The acid content consists of 90% malic acid and 10% citric acid. The astringent bite we taste in an apple emanates from tannins. The familiar aroma is a mysterious blend of 250 trace chemicals contained in the fruit.
Now, some quick apple facts. Apples come in all shades of reds, greens, and yellows. 2 pounds of apples makes a 1 9-inch pie. Apple blossom is the state flower of Michigan. 100 varieties of apples are grown commercially in the United States. Apples are grown in all 50 states.
In 2008, United States consumers ate an average of 49.8 pounds of fresh apples and produced apple products. That's a lot of applesauce. 61% of United States apples are eaten as fresh fruit. 39% of apples are processed into apple products. 21% of this is for juice and cider. Apples are fat, sodium, and cholesterol-free. A medium apple is about 80 calories.
There are around 8,000 apple growers with orchards covering 430,200 acres. Apple varieties range in size from little larger than a cherry to as large as a grapefruit. The apple variety Delicious is most widely grown in the United States.
The apple tree originated in an area between the Caspian and the Black Sea. Apples were the favorite fruit of ancient Greeks and Romans. Apples are a member of the rose family. Apples harvested from an average tree can fill 20 boxes that weigh 42 pounds each, and Americans eat 18 pounds or about 60 fresh apples per year.
Since most fresh apples are harvested July through December, take advantage of this just-picked fruit and plan menus to wallow in apple heaven. Some late varieties of apples are harvested from January through April, such as Granny Smith. Apples keep best and longest when refrigerated. Unrefrigerated, apples can become mushy in just 2 to 3 days.
Always wash apples thoroughly before eating or cutting to reduce intake of pesticide residues or bacterial contaminants that result from handling.
When cutting any unwashed fruits or vegetables, it is possible to carry pesticides from the skin into the flesh with one cut of the knife.
Apples make so many dishes. Apples make so many great dishes this time of year. Applesauce, apple butter, and of course the traditional apple pie.
All this talk about apples and apple pie is making me hungry.
I know. Before we get too hungry, let's switch over to the news desk for more Your School News with July Alexander.
Thank you, Jamie and Noah, and welcome everyone to Your School News here on the Morning Show. Passing a stopped school bus could be a very costly mistake with the passage of North Carolina House Bill 428. Starting December 1st, if convicted for passing a stopped school bus in North Carolina, the law carries an addition of 5 points to your license, a minimum of 5 up to $500, a significant increase to your insurance. Anyone who commits the same crime additionally hits a person will receive a Class 1 felony and a minimum fine of $1,250. If the driver hits and kills a person, they will receive a Class H felony and a minimum fine of $2,500. Additionally, the bill would allow the Division of Motor Vehicles to revoke the driver's license if illegal bus passers. First, convictions could result in the removal of the driver's license for 30 days for the first offense. With the start of the new school year, New Hanover County Schools, in conjunction with the State Department of Education, launched a new student information system and instructional improvement system called Homebase. Homebase replaces the former NCWise. We get this report from the new system YSN reporter Cassie Williamson.
State Superintendent June Atkinson called the new Homebase a milestone for North Carolina, featuring benefits to teachers, principals, parents, and students by using better technology tools to support their work and to improve student learning. Homebase will function as the source for all aspects of student data to meet the needs of school administrators and teachers, but most importantly, students and parents. For students, through the PowerSchool link found in Homebase gives students access to grades, teacher-assigned learning activities, and assessments. It also gives students the ability to store examples of personal, academic, and artistic work and collaborate with other students on projects.
For students in PowerSchool, they will have a one-stop information system. Within PowerSchool, they will have access to a student portal where they will see their grades, any teacher comments that the teacher has made, any recommendations that the teacher has made, as well as any assessments that they have received.
For parents, the PowerSchool link provides the online portal for viewing their child's attendance record, grades, and teacher assignments. Parents can expect greater user friendliness with single sign-on access to student data.
They can see teacher comments based on the reporting periods and assignments for those students. Teachers can actually give a description of an assignment and send a parent to a certain link to help with actual homework and classwork assignments for that student.
Before the first day of school, all district school administrators and teachers were trained in and have access to basic student data such as student schedules, grade books, and attendance records. While this process is a vast transition that will require ongoing training, Homebase is projected to perform more efficiently and offer a broad range of instructional improvement tools to supplement current local tools. Reporting for your school news, this is Cassie Williamson.
For the second year in a row, New Hanover County Schools' four-year Concord graduation rate has exceeded 80%. The school system saw a 2% increase from last year. Now at 82.4, the school system continues an upward trend, rising from 73.9 in 2011 and marking an 11.5 increase in 3 years. The district yielded the highest gains for students with disability subgroup and limited English proficient subgroup. At 82.4, New Hanover County Schools' graduation rate is competitive with the state's rate, 82.5%. Superintendent Dr. Tim Markley plans to continue the upward trend to attributable success and the hard work of the educators, parents, and students across the district. That's all for now. To watch this week's edition of Your School News Online, visit the school system website at www.newhanovercountyschools.net and click on the video library link under the items of interest at the homepage. Now back over to Jamie and Noah.
Thanks, July. All right, Noah, it's my turn for another wonderful apple joke. Why were the apple and orange alone?
I give up. Why?
Because the banana split.
Ah! Oh, those are slippery bananas.
What can a whole apple do that a half an apple can't do?
What?
It can look around.
Well, with that, let's get back to the show. Our next segment features my hilariously brilliant co-host, Jamie Stalford. Each week, she looks at a unique top 10 list that is informative and entertaining. From animals to food to entertainment and education, each episode counts down 10 items that are tops in their category. Follow along if you agree or disagree with the list.
Welcome to another exciting edition of The List. I'm your host, Jamie Stalford. We all know that some of our favorite foods may not be very good for us, but we eat them anyway. But what if I were to tell you that some of the foods that you wouldn't suspect to be healthy were better for you than your favorite fruits and veggies? Let's start the countdown to the top 10 surprisingly healthy foods. At the tippy top of the list this week are chili peppers. Chili peppers are a spicy pepper that is used in a lot of Spanish cooking. Some people love the kick that they add to a dish, but what's even better is that they have more vitamin C than a large orange. They actually contain more than any other food, enough for your daily average allowance per pepper. Coming in at number 9 is horse meat. Okay, so maybe this isn't something that you would want to eat here in America, but in other countries, it's like their tuna. It's the most lean meat you can buy, and it's far cheaper than beef, pork, or turkey. Plus, all that lean meat is a great source of protein. At number 8 on the list is watermelon. A well-known summer treat, watermelon has been enjoyed by everyone for centuries. Despite leading health officials' belief that watermelon does not have enough nutrients because of all the water in it, it actually has more iron in it than spinach. Take that, Popeye. Taking the number 7 spot are almonds. Nuts in general are good for your health, and vegetarians use them as a protein source. But almonds are the best source of vitamins, unsaturated fats, and fiber out of all of the other nuts. Just make sure to get the no salt kind. Coming in at number 6 is basil. Basil is used in a lot as a seasoning in a lot of dishes, and sometimes a garnish. But this leafy herb is so much better than oregano or parsley because it has obscene amounts of vitamins A, K, and magnesium. Just don't overdose on this stuff. It has a really strong flavor. Alright guys, we're halfway there. And the number 5 spot is honey. That sweet, sticky sauce has more health benefits than you'd think. Honey almost never expires. It's used to cure sore throats, burn wounds, and even in case of the not sweet enough cup of green tea. Okay, so you've probably never heard of number 4, but yeast extract is so good for you. This stuff looks disgusting, but it has amazing health benefits. It's vegetarian, contains vitamin B, and has the same amount of protein as chicken. Kinda makes it worth the yucky appearance, huh? Coming in at number 3 is soy sauce. Yes, soy sauce. As long as you get the low salt kind, soy sauce is full of vitamins and minerals and is a great source of antioxidants. The next time you order Chinese, slather the stuff on it, and maybe it will undo all the wrong that fried rice does to your body. Maybe. This week's number 2 spot goes to caviar. Since it is a fish product, you get all the health benefits of the aquatic creatures, but you also get vitamin B12 and raw omega-3s. So go ahead and spend your whole paycheck on this stuff. It's good for you. Finally, drum roll please, number 1 is chili powder. Okay, so I know we've already put chili peppers on the list, but the fact that processing and grinding the stuff into a powder still doesn't take away the nutrients is pretty amazing. It has all the benefits of chili peppers, but in shakeable form. Everything can surprise us if we let it, and these 10 foods are no exception. Who knew that caviar actually is a justified purchase? Who knew that soy sauce has vitamins? Well, that's it for this week's Top 10. Join us next week for another exciting edition of The List.
Well, Jamie, as producer and host of The List, was there anything on the list that really surprised you?
I thought that soy sauce was kind of cool, that it was healthy, because I eat a lot of Chinese food, a lot. What about you, Noah? Did you find anything surprising on that list?
I thought horse meat was really weird. It's just when you hear about people dieting, they don't usually talk about eating horse meat sandwiches. Although soy sauce was pretty weird too.
Soy sauce is kind of weird, yeah.
I usually associate that with like high blood pressure.
Coming up in our show, we have your federal government and more news with July Alexander.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Mom, I'm not gonna go to college.
What are you saying? You've got to go to college.
Well, they offered me a job and...
Son, college is much more important.
No.
Yes.
No, Mom.
Yes.
Anyways, it's my decision.
Okay, well then decide what degree you're going to get because you will go to college.
Their tomorrow depends on your words today. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund has the information you need to help your kids go to college.
We have all heard of FEMA, the IRS, and the National Park Service and many other federal government agencies that serve our country. But what exactly do these agencies do, and how do they impact our lives? We have the answers to those questions and more in our new segment we call Your Federal Government. Each month, our host sits down with members from a federal agency, and they give us an overview of how it and how they serve the American people.
Hello, everyone. Today, we are featuring the National Weather Service, which is part of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I'm very grateful to have two representatives from this agency with us, Bob Thompson, who is the meteorologist in charge at the Taunton Weather Forecast Office, and Glenn Field, who is the Warning Coordination Meteorologist. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you both for being here.
Our pleasure to be here, Diane.
Bob, I'm going to start with you. What is the basic mission of the National Weather Service?
Well, the basic mission of the National Weather Service is to produce weather information to save lives and property and enhance the national economy. Now, when you start to break it down, pragmatically, we're looking out for forecasting and issuing warnings as necessary out 7 days. And there are various types of forecasts that we issue because weather affects so many people, in such a diverse way. There's temperature, and there's the amount of precipitation, and the probability of precipitation, humidity, wind, so on and so forth that affect people over land. And we issue forecasts and warnings for people who are land-based, but we also issue forecasts for our mariners over the coastal waters.
Now, Bob, the agency that you're part of, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, say that 4 times fast. Right. So what else does your agency, just very briefly, what else does NOAA do, and where does the National Weather Service fit?
Well, NOAA's mission includes science, service, and stewardship of our environment, which in turn includes understanding, predicting climate, weather, the oceans, the coast, and the associated ecosystem. So we fit into that picture, certainly from the atmosphere side, but you can't compartmentalize all that because the atmosphere affects the oceans affect the atmosphere, be it a sea breeze, be it where the rain-snow line would be on a local scale, or on a more global scale is the type of interaction that takes place with sea surface temperatures in the tropical Pacific, where our El Nino and La Nina situations that most people have heard about occur.
Of course. So you are the meteorologist in charge. What exactly does that mean?
Well, my primary role is to see that we accomplish our mission today, make sure we're meeting the needs of our customers, which is just about everybody when you get down to it. But also taking a look at where we need to be in the future as well. This is something I tell my staff a lot. We not only need to meet the needs today, we need to try to anticipate what those needs will be in the future so that we're equipped with new science and technology and the communication skills to be able to deliver the messages that will be needed then.
Glenn, you have a slightly different title, the Warning Coordination Meteorologist. What does that mean?
Coordination is my middle name. Actually, once we issue the warning, the only way that the warning is going to be successful is to be able to save lives, which is, as Bob said, is our main mission, is to have everybody understand what they mean and know how to respond to those warnings. So my job is to interface with all of our customers, as Bob said. That's everyone from emergency managers, the media, aviators, school children, and it's kind of a customer service disaster preparedness position where everyone is your customer.
Most folks get their weather forecasts from TV or radio, and some, including my mother, believe that it is the guy or the woman on TV who's making the forecast. But I told her it's my friend Bob and my friend Glenn. So Bob, tell us about really what's the relationship between your office and the media, the TV folks?
It's actually a very collaborative relationship. It is not at all competitive. We consider ourselves part of what we call the weather enterprise, with the end result being hopefully the best information that science can offer to the people who need weather information, which again, essentially everyone. So we do work cooperatively. In some ways, you could think of the National Weather Service as wholesalers, giving them information that then private sector meteorologists, be the broadcast meteorologists you see on TV, or those who may have a particular client base, can then take that information and tailor it to either their client base or their viewing audience.
Are you out in the community on a regular basis? Are you in classrooms? Bob, talk a little about that.
Yes, and Glenn can talk a lot too, because to a large extent his job does involve that. Yes, we are out in the community. It's very important for us to be out in the community. We can have a perfect forecast, but if people have trouble understanding it or responding to it, and we lose lives, or people are unnecessarily injured or lose property they don't need to, and we've not fully completed the task. To really protect lives and property, we need to make sure we're educating people on the information that's available, how to get that information, and then to respond to it. And that's a really important part of our job. It's not just forecasting the weather.
I want to thank our guests from the National Weather Service for joining us and for helping us to better understand the work of their agency.
Welcome, good morning, and welcome to your school news on the morning show. I'm Jill Alexander. Noble Middle School has held a social media awareness seminar for parents where they discussed social media dangers and how to best protect their students. YSN reporter E.J. McGoggle covered the story and filled the report.
The message was clear from the opening remarks by Assistant Principal David Bastian. Students are vulnerable through social media. Statistics show that 25% of teens admit to posting sexually explicit words or images online, making them prey for predators, while 43% of teens have been victims of cyberbullying in the last year. Panelists told parents that the facelessness of the computer encourages students to say things online that they would never say face-to-face. Principal Wade Smith told the parents in attendance that Noble Middle School wanted to raise their awareness of the various social media being used by students and showcase the latest trends. Cyberbullying took the main stage. Noble's student support team talked about how cyberbullies victimize other students, what the school does to help teach students the dangers of their actions, and finally, how parents can help in this growing world of technology-based behaviors. Parents got a real eye-opener as they were introduced to a host of sites that today's teens are using. These include Vine, Instagram, Ask.fm, social media sites where participation starts innocently enough but develops quickly into worst-case scenarios.
Some of the developers of these apps are developing apps specifically for 13 to 23-year-olds, very young age groups, knowing that they're highly socializing and communicating in ways that they want to get around their parents and leave no trace.
Deputy C.L. Smith gave parents a lot to think about as he pointed out that in the eyes of the law, malicious material on the web has a far greater reach than whispered nicknames, bathroom graffiti, and caricatures scrawled on notepaper. He reviewed several cases, some right here in New Hanover County, of students using the internet to spread false information about teachers as well as students threatening other students with physical harm on Facebook. District Attorney Ben David, the keynote speaker for the evening, told parents that he had been talking to local school students about the dangers of the internet for over a decade. He shared stories about the rapidly changing landscape of technology and the steps the law is having to take to keep students safe from not only themselves, but from those who would prey upon them.
That their children know more about social media than they do, but they know less about life, and they have to remain in charge in their own home. Parents make the best police.
The social media awareness seminar was a huge first step in introducing to parents a new dangerous form of communication that their children are now involved in. It is hoped that they walked away from the event with a better understanding of the dangers today's social media can pose and will take the time to learn about the sites their children are visiting and communicate with them about good and bad internet decisions. Reporting for your school news is E.J. McGonigal.
As part of his ongoing charitable cause, Bob Moulton, the president of National Pawn, presented close to 100 instruments to the music program at DC Virgo Preparatory Academy. In addition, National Pawn donated $2,000 for repairs and maintenance of the instruments. This is the second year National Pawn has contributed to Virgo. On hand, the occasion was Brandon Hickman, a former New Hanover Wildcat, the now station manager of Coast 97.3. He told the students at Virgo that his path to success started in the band room. Hickman was one of the first black drum majors for New Hanover County Schools marching band that was able to attend college at Norfolk State University on a band scholarship. Virgo band director, enrichment coordinator Cameron Ballish called Moulton an angel in disguise. When DC Virgo Middle School reopened its doors to a 6th grade class last year at the Preparatory Academy, it was Ballish's job to create a visual performing arts curriculum. The donation of the instruments made it possible for 78 of the 100 total students of the school to be a part of the bands or orchestra. This school, Virgo's attendance has doubled with the start of 7th grade classes, and the music program has grown nearly to 200. Finally, October is National Bully Awareness Month. In honor of this month, your school team has put together a 4-part series and special reports on bullying. This first report, we get an overview from bullying from Abby Bowman.
Bullying is a serious problem in homes, schools, and communities. Often dismissed as an adolescent rite of passage, research clearly indicates bullying is learned behavior and damaging to the academic, physical, social, and emotional development of all involved. Bullying is not only a problem of youth, but is one that spans all ages.
Bullying is a conscious, willful, deliberate act of harm and terror. Students who bully typically have been thinking about it, and their intent is to harm and to create fear in the victims.
In order to be considered bullying, the behavior must be aggressive and include an imbalance of power. Kids who bully use their power, such as physical strength, access to embarrassing information, or popularity, to control or harm others. Power imbalances can change over time and in different situations, even if they involve the same people.
But these days, bullying can be physical, the verbal aggression, the social aggression. We see that a lot with our girls, the social isolation, trying to pull other students away from them. Oh, don't be that person's friend, spreading rumor, gossip. Sexual harassment is a form of bullying. And now in the age of social media, there's cyberbullying.
Bullying can affect everyone. Those who are bullied, those who bully, and those who witness bullying. Bullying is linked to many negative outcomes, including impacts on mental health, substance use, and suicide.
Unfortunately, bullying is very permanent for some students, for some children. It can carry on into their whole life. They unfortunately believe what they hear and what they see, and it can affect their self-esteem. Their goals, their dreams are tainted, unfortunately.
Bullying is a pervasive problem in schools, affecting almost a third of students in grades 6 through 10. Because of the significant negative consequences of this behavior for all involved, it should not be viewed as just a normal part of growing up. To be addressed effectively, both individual and system-level interventions are required. If we do not intervene with bullies, we not only place targets at risk for physical injury, depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem, but also significantly increase the likelihood that bullies will develop into antisocial adults. Reporting for Your School News, this is Abby Bowman.
For all the latest on New Hanover County Schools, join us weekdays at 5:30 p.m. here on Time Warner Cable Channel 5 and Charter Cable Channel 12. For Your School News, a complete half hour of the latest news and information from New Hanover County Schools. Now back to our hosts.
Now we have an important announcement for high school students.
That's right. If you're a high school student and enjoyed our show, listen up. We are going to tell you how you can get involved and sit where I am.
Yeah, any high school student can volunteer and be on air, or if you prefer, work behind the scenes. New Hanover County Schools Television is recruiting high school students to participate in their after-school program. Television positions include stuff like the host, me and Jamie, news anchor, interviewer, sports announcer, and segment host are all available for those interested in being on the spotlight in front of the camera. There are also many behind-the-scenes positions. Right now, students are directing, running audio and graphics, as well as teleprompter and operating the camera. In addition to working in the studio, students can join in at field shoots covering art, events, and sports. It's a great place to do volunteer hours, meet new people, and have fun, all the while working in a real TV studio environment.
And it looks great on college applications. To find out more or to get involved, all you need to do is call 254-4106.
That's 254-4106.
NHCS TV staff will give you more details and talk to you all about the wonderful opportunities. So call 254-4106.
Now coming up, we have the list and more on your school news here in the morning show. But first, here's a little music for your morning and rock and roll history.
Rock and roll is an ever-changing music genre that has been influenced and changed by many people. Over time, it has been molded by countless artists working together to create music. This week, we spotlight American singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist, the boss, Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen was born and raised in New Jersey, a point of sentiment of many of his songs. His first band was the Castills, for whom he sang lead and played guitar. From 1969 to 71, he performed with the band Steel Mill, still virtually unknown to the public. He first got a record deal in 1972, but struggled for much success, being dismissed as sounding too close to Bob Dylan and Van Morrison. By 1973, he teamed up with the E Street Band to create his second record, The Wild, the Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle. The new sound he generated added a more R&B feel, and his lyrics romanticized teenage life. In 1975, he and the band booked a 5-night gig at New York's Bottom Line Club. This appearance convinced many skeptics of Springsteen's talent and sparked the release of his first widely popular album, Born to Run. By 1983, Springsteen had risen to fame in the US and other parts of the world. His best-known album, Born in the USA, was released in 1984 and sold 15 million copies. Of its 7 hit singles, Dancing in the Dark was the most famous. After this peak of his career, Springsteen continued to record and tour with the E Street Band until 1989. In 1992, he released 2 solo albums at once. An Academy Award winner, multiple Grammy winner, and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member, Springsteen began to reorganize the E Street Band for his greatest hits album. They soon commenced a reunion tour which sold out at most venues. After this successful tour, the band and Springsteen stayed together to record and perform. They released numerous albums from 2002 to 2007, including The Rising, Devils and Dust, and Magic, and performed at the 2009 Super Bowl. Springsteen continues to achieve success in creating and performing music even until today. It is musicians like Bruce Springsteen who continue to shape the genre of rock and roll that we know today. Until next time, keep the beat.
I remember how much you said you liked mine.
Oh.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Thomas Wolfe grew up in Asheville, North Carolina during the 1900s and was the youngest of 8 children. Wolfe's 4 novels were all autobiographical and depict his life through a unique style and language. Wolfe's most famous novels are Look Homeward, Angel, and You Can't Go Home Again. This background in literature has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools.
Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Jamie Stalford.
And I'm Noah Suleiman. As we have mentioned several times, this is our Apple Show.
And I have another awesome apple joke.
Let's hear it.
What did the apple say to the apple pie?
I don't know, what?
You've got some crust.
Another good one, Jamie. Speaking of apple pie, I see we have some on the set today.
Yes, we do.
I would love to have some.
Me too. Our new member, July, is in charge of that. Welcome, July. What do you say? Can we have a piece?
Perhaps, but first you must participate in a little game. I will ask each of you 7 questions about apples. Most of the information was talked about during our show, so you should be pros. For each question you get right, you will earn 10 seconds of time. After all the questions are done, we will move to round 2. Using the time you have earned, you will have a chance to bob for apples. If you successfully bob for at least one apple, you win a piece of the delicious apple pie. Okay, contestants, are you ready? Since you each get a number of questions, we'll let the ladies go first. So Jamie, are you ready?
Whoop whoop!
Okay. What percentage of apples are sold fresh? A, 75%, B, 25%, C, 50%, or D, 100%?
A.
That is incorrect. It is C, 50% of apples are sold fresh.
You trade.
I totally thought it was 61, but that wasn't in there, so I just guessed A.
It was 42. How many... For
42.
Noah, how many pounds of fresh apples do Americans eat each year? A, 15 pounds, B, 18 pounds, C, 20 pounds, or D, 10 pounds?
I'm going to go with B.
That is correct. Americans eat fresh apples, around 18 fresh apples each year. Jamie?
Yes.
Apples are available A, 2 times a year, B, 1 time a year, or C, all year?
All year, C.
Yay!
Woo, woo!
This is a really easy one.
Yes, right.
True or false? Yeah. Apples are high in fiber.
False.
That is incorrect. It is true. Apples are high in fiber.
Dude, if it's asking you something good about apples, the odds are it's probably true.
Apples are pretty cool, man. Apples are pretty cool.
Apples.
Apples are a member of which plant family? A, sunflower, B, rose, C, daisy, or D, tulip?
B, 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 B.
Even I can
Yay!
remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is correct. Apples are a member of the rose family. What will fresh apples do when placed in water? A, jump out. I like that answer. B, swim. Also like that one. C, float, or D, sink?
Well, that's kind of a hard toss-up. I'll probably go with C.
That is correct. It is C, float.
Who would have known?
But I still think that it might have been incorrectly labeled. I think it's either A or B.
Probably.
Okay, yeah.
They either jump out or swim.
Yeah.
Tend
I
to.
jump out. I can't swim.
Okay, when people pick apples, they are usually A, ripe, B, just buds, C, rotten, or D, sprouts.
If you get this wrong.
A?
Correct. When people pick apples, they are usually ripe.
I seriously thought that was a trick question.
Which
Okay.
apple is the most popular in the USA? Do I even need to say that?
Delicious.
There we go.
Girl,
The things
Close
were
enough.
A, Granny Smith, B, Golden Delicious, C, Jonathan, or D, Red Delicious.
D.
Which one? Golden Delicious or Red Delicious?
Red delicious.
That is correct. Just wanted to be sure. So D, most apples sold popular in the USA are Red Delicious apples. True or false? There are 7,500 different varieties of apples.
False.
That is incorrect. That is true. They have cataloged about 7,500 apples around the world. Only a handful are available in your supermarket, though.
Dear Lord.
True or false? More apples are grown in North Carolina than more apples are grown in North Carolina than in Washington State.
False.
That is correct. Washington State is the world leader apple production.
I swear, he's getting all the easy questions.
I'm sorry.
I swear,
you
you are
perfect.
I'll give you
whining
a
so much.
good one.
Okay.
Apples are harvested by A, a horse and wagon, B, people, C, a tractor, or D, helicopters. I want to go with D. D sounds pretty good.
D, helicopters. That sounds great. I'm going to go with the people answer since it's probably logical.
That is correct on a logical scale, but incorrect in my book because I see it's helicopters.
I'm just saying, that would be awesome. Just like come out of the sky and get some apples in a helicopter. Thank you, Noah. Thank you.
When are apples harvested? In the spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Spring? Gonna go on a limb here?
Wrong. They are
Oh, wait.
harvested in the fall.
What?
Have you not seen those movies where they're going around getting the apples?
Have you? I'm pretty sure we said in our episode, fall is the season of apples.
Yeah, I think you guys actually did. How many seeds are in the average apple? A, 5, B, 1, C, 3, or D, 16?
5.
That is correct. The answer is 5. Apples contain 5 seed pockets. Usually each pocket contains a seed. How many grams of fiber are in one apple? A, 1, B, 3, C, 5, or D, 12?
C.
5 is correct. There are 5 grams of fiber in each apple. Okay, and that is all the questions that we have. Jamie has 50 seconds to bob for apples, and Noah has 50 seconds to bob for apples. We are going to take a quick break while we set up round 2. We'll be right back.
Where's my husband? Where's my
husband? Never stop.
How's she doing? 2,
She was the passenger. So I was T-boned on the passenger side.
We just had some wine. I wasn't even drunk, I was just buzzed.
What? You were just buzzed? Well, sir, you didn't tell us that. In that case, she's just fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Welcome back to the morning show. After a round of one of our games, Jamie won 50 seconds to bob for apples, and Noah also won 50 seconds. Noah, we're going to let you bob first. Good luck. And there's 50 seconds on the clock. And go.
This is hard.
Oh no, I'm not looking forward to this.
Poor Noah.
Get the stem.
Come on, Noah.
Get the stem.
Oh! One apple.
How much time?
2.
Okay, you've got like 28 seconds.
Yeah, you got 26 seconds.
Ew, stop it.
Come on, 17.
I'm not
15
good at
seconds.
this.
He's just gonna start like drinking water like a dog.
This is embarrassing.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I tried.
Okay.
Oh, good lord.
Well, besides being drenched, Noah got 2 apples.
2 apples.
I'm really not looking forward
Now, Jamie, it's your turn.
Goody. Okay.
Okay, 50 seconds on the clock. Are you ready?
No.
Ready?
Yeah.
Set, go.
Yeah, it's hard, ain't it?
Laughing while doing it's probably not helping. Whoa!
It's going in my nose.
Oh, just grab the stem. It's so easy.
I don't think she can go underwater without holding her nose. Yay! 1 apple!
Oh, good lord. Okay. Oh.
This water is going everywhere. Oh, dear God. You have to drink it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Oh, that was fun. Well, that does it for this edition of the morning show. Remember, for the best TV at all. Well, before I do that, actually, both of you get to win pie. So it's pie getting time.
How many slices do we win? Is it like
It's a
per
slice
apple?
per apple, but I'm pretty sure you guys can share. But Noah gets 2 slices and Jamie gets 1.
Well, that does it for this edition of the morning show. Remember, for the best TV of all, each and every day, keep it tuned right here for New Hanover County Schools TV on the Learning Network of the Cape Fear.
We close today's show with music from Woodard Park's garden renovations event they held with Whole Foods. This is Mark, Dan, and Herbert performing a song he wrote.
Have a great day.
And a wonderful week.
Oh, my good time. Didn't have no worries, didn't have no trouble mind. Wish I could go back to the way it used to be. We were so happy and we got so free. Sing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, rising.